You hit refresh. You see the comma. You see the extra zero. $100,000. You've been told for 5 years that this is the promised land, the holy grail of personal finance. You expected fireworks. You expected to feel rich, but you don't. You feel tired. You still set an alarm for a job that drains you. You still check the price of gas. You still worry about rent. And now, a new darker feeling creeps in. Is this it? You have entered the dead zone. This is the most dangerous phase of building wealth. It is the specific mathematical valley where the adrenaline of starting is gone, but the momentum of compounding hasn't kicked in yet. This is where 90% of people break. They get bored, they buy the Tesla, and they torch 5 years of discipline and 6 months of apathy. The first 100K was a battle. The next 100K was a waiting room. And waiting is excruciating. In the next 9 minutes, I'm going to show you why your brain is screaming at you to spend that money and the exact math you need to survive the boredom until you hit escape velocity. If you want the brutal truth about money that treats you like an adult, subscribe. I'm Mint. Let's get the math out of the way so we can talk about the psychology. Why does $100,000 feel like nothing? Because of the 4% reality. You have $100,000. A safe withdrawal rate is 4%. That's $4,000 a year. That is $333 a month. $333 a month is not financial freedom. It's a nice car insurance payment. It's a fancy gym membership. It doesn't change your life. It barely changes your Tuesday. This is why you feel broke. Because relative to your income, your capital is still weak. You are asset rich, but cash flow poor. And this is where the trap snaps shut. Meet Plateau Paul. Paul is 29. He hit $100,000. He is sick of living like a college student. He looks at his account and thinks, I have 6 figures. Surely I can afford a nicer apartment. He moves. His rent goes up by $400. He leases a car. That's another $500. He starts upgrading his wardrobe. $200. Total lifestyle inflation, $1,100 a month. Paul thinks, I make good money. I can cover the monthly cost. Paul is an idiot. He's thinking in cash flow, not capital. Here is the Mint rule Paul broke. Every $100 of monthly spending requires $30,000 of invested capital to support it forever. Paul increased his spending by $1,100. $1,100 times 300 is $330,000. Paul didn't just spend $1,000 a month. He just moved his retirement finish line back by $330,000. He just erased his entire first $100,000 3 times over. He is now mathematically poorer than when he started, even though his bank account looks big. He is back in the dead zone, but this time he's running on a treadmill that's moving faster. Now look at Velocity Vera. She hits $100,000. She feels the same boredom, the same urge to spend. But she understands the slog. She knows that going from $0 to 100K is 90% savings and 10% investment returns. It's all brute force. But going from 100,000 to 200,000, that shifts. Now the market is helping. At 8% growth, her $100,000 earns $8,000 this year. If she saves $20,000, she's adding $28,000 total. She knows that if she just holds the line for 3 more years, the crossover happens. This is the moment your investment returns exceed your annual savings contribution. Once you cross that line, you aren't pushing the boulder up the hill anymore. The boulder is pulling you, but you are in the dead zone. You aren't there yet, so how do you survive the boredom borehole? You have to identify the 3 sirens that will try to shipwreck you here. Siren number 1, the yield chase. You look at the S&P 500 doing 8% or 10%. It feels slow. You calculate it out. It'll take me 15 years to get rich at this rate. So you start looking for shortcuts. Crypto altcoins, 0 TE options, some real estate syndication deal your dentist pitched you. You are trying to cure boredom with risk. Here's the truth. The boringness of the dead zone is a feature, not a bug. If your investing is exciting, you are gambling. If you lose 50% of your $100,000 now, you don't just lose $50,000. You lose the doubling power of that money for the next 30 years. That $50,000 loss is actually a $400,000 loss in future money. Don't trade boredom for bankruptcy. Siren number 2, the one-time splurge. I'll just pay for the wedding in cash. I'll just do the kitchen renovation. It's a once-in-a-lifetime trip. The dead zone is full of one-time expenses that happen every year. When you drain your principal at this stage, you are killing your soldiers. $100,000 is your army. If you spend $20,000 on a wedding, you didn't just spend cash. You decimated 20% of the workforce that was fighting for your freedom. If you need to splurge, cash flow it. Do not touch the principal. The principal is sacred. Siren number 3, the identity drift. This is subtle. You start hanging out with people who make what you make but save nothing. They have the watches. They have the trips to Tulum. They have the aesthetic. You start to feel like the sucker. Why am I eating meal prep while they eat omakase? Here is the reframe. They are eating their freedom. You are buying yours. They look rich. You are becoming wealthy. Those are opposite things. Rich is current consumption. Wealth is unspent options. You have to learn to love the feeling of having money more than the feeling of spending money. So what is the strategy? How do we accelerate out of the dead zone without miserable penny pinching? We use the gap multiplier. Most people think the only way to get out of the middle class is to get better investment returns. Wrong. You can't control the market. You get out by widening the gap. The gap is income minus expenses. In the dead zone, your career is likely taking off. You're moving from junior to senior roles. Your income is jumping. This is where the battle is won or lost. If you get a $10,000 raise and you spend $10,000 more, you are stationary. But if you capture that $10,000 and throw it into the pile, you shave years off the dead zone. This is called artificial scarcity. You need to lie to yourself. You need to convince yourself you are still earning what you earned 3 years ago. Hide the money from yourself. If you see it in your checking account, you will spend it. It's human nature. Automate the transfer so the money leaves your life before you even wake up on payday. You can't spend what you don't see. Now, I promised you a specific way to handle the timeline because looking at a 20-year horizon is depressing. It's too far away. Your brain can't process a reward that distant. So stop looking at the end goal. Stop looking at retirement. Focus on the next double. Your goal is not $1 million. Your goal is $200,000. That's it. Just double the money. Why? Because of the rule of 72. At 10%, money doubles every 7.2 years. But if you are adding cash, you can force that double in 3 or 4 years. And here's the magic. The jumps get shorter. $100,000 to $200,000 takes hard work. $200,000 to $300,000 takes less work. By the time you are going from $800,000 to $900,000, the market can do that for you in a good year. You are pushing a snowball. The first few rolls are heavy. You are sweating, you are slipping in the snow. But eventually, the snowball gets so big that it rolls itself. The dead zone is just that first heavy push. Let's lock this in with the mint move. This is your escape plan. Step 1, the lifestyle freeze. Commit right now. For the next 12 months, your fixed expenses do not move up by a single penny. No new lease, no bigger apartment, no subscription creep. Freeze the burn rate. Any extra income goes directly to the gap. Step 2, the vomit number. Calculate how much money you would need to have to walk away from your job for 2 years without panic. Is it $50,000? $80,000? Realize you already have it. You have $100,000. That is 2 to 3 years of absolute survival runway. That means you are no longer a slave to your employer. You are a volunteer. Change your mindset from I have to work to I am choosing to work to build my empire. That shift changes everything. Step 3, the boring buy. Go into your brokerage, set up an automatic buy for a total market index fund. Set it for the day after payday. Make it painful. If you think you can save $1,000, set it to $1,100. Force yourself to figure out the rest. Then, and this is key, delete the app from your phone. Stop checking. Checking the price of a planted seed doesn't make it grow faster, it just makes you anxious. You are in the dead zone. It's dark, it's boring, it feels lonely. But this is where the rich are made. The tourists leave when it gets boring. The pros stay. Be a pro. If you want to see the exact math of how the second $100,000 happens faster than you think, watch this video next. It explains the snowball velocity that is waiting for you on the other side of this valley. Dig in. Stay logical. I'll see you there.